Hi guys, this is Lego Jump 96, and here I have a long-awaited request video. This is how to make the Robot Wars robot Hydra. Now for this robot, while it is a very simple design, you can have the option of just simply using a small box. This is a paperclip box which I turned inside out so none of the labels are showing, which will work great. Or if you can't find that, you could, like most of the time, make a small cardboard box with tape. You're going to need possibly whiteout. You're going to need a Sharpie, something to make lines with, and some source of cardboard. Oh, and I forgot, you are going to need tape, and you are also going to need scissors. The first thing you're going to want to do to start making Hydra is to make the design for the kind of fork at the front, the two spikes that stick out. You're going to want to make sure that they are the right size because it will save time and effort, and it will not leave pen marks that are unnecessary on the project. Now cut out the design. And tape it to the bottom of your small cardboard box or box that you have made. Now that that's done, what you're probably going to want to do next is the flipper, which is very simple. First, a rectangle. You're probably going to want to, depending on the thickness of the cardboard you're using, you might want to reinforce it with more cardboard underneath so that it's stronger and able to actually lift other robots. The rectangle should be put not quite in the center because the axe still needs to be put on. And then after you have assembled the actual arm itself, you must make a bucket to get underneath the robots, which once again you're probably going to want to reinforce. Tape the shovel to the arm. Now for the axe, there's really two methods. One of them has to do with having a piece of cardboard and putting a pin through one side and taping the pin to the actual body to make an actual pivot. And the other has to do with making it the same way you would make a flipper by taping it on there, but putting the blade of the axe obviously facing a different way so it is not just sticking out to the side. So for the axe, you take a piece of rectangle cardboard, once again reinforce it. sure that it is the right length. Speaking of which, the shovel, I'm going to say scoop, the shovel for the end of my flipper is a little bit too long, so I have to shorten it there. Anyway, the axe, you are going to want it to be just as long as the robot itself. For the blade, probably going to want a triangle shaped blade, but you might want to also make a kind of a, what you would call that there. Here, let me hold that up, kind of a curve at one side and a tip at the other. Take that to the axe. And now that the axe is complete, you're going to want to tape it just like you taped the flipper, except instead of taping it in the back, you're going to want to tape the axe in the front, obviously, because if you tape it in the back, you're going to have it longer than the robot itself to be able to reach anything, and it still will probably have a much shorter range. And just kind of a finishing touch, which something I forgot to do earlier, I want to put a scoop to the end of the shovel, just like a little tip to get underneath other robots. And this is how you make Hydra. Now, for color, since most of the time he was black or green, you're going to want to get a Sharpie of that color and start coloring him. And for detail, you might want to add some scratch marks, which at least I do anyway, by taking a little bit of white out and kind of streaking it across the robot in some spots. Now, that does it for making your Hydra. This has been Lego Junk 96, and I will see you later.